Oh hey McFly subscribers. It's a little windy out here. Hopefully you can hear me. I'm just using my phone. But excuse my dorky gardening hat here, but keeping the sun off my face as much as possible. Just because I had that melanoma a while back, if you guys remember from watching. Anyway, told you guys I would do an update. So here are 2 raised beds that I put up. I put these up because it gets hot in the, like yesterday it was 95 degrees. So these are like shade cloths that I can put over it in, you know, the heat of the day. And I just put stakes in the ground, put up these things, the PVC, zip tied them, you know, one over the top. And I was going to cut these zip ties, and then I realized there's holes in this, and that actually helps kind of keep them, the you know, the tarp up. So what I did is I stapled it the same length that I needed to 2 pieces of like 2x2 wood boards, and I can you know, one on each end, and I can just kind of pull it up over, it drapes over top, and then these kind of, you know, with the wind and stuff, these help hold it together. So anyway, that was a lot of work, guys. It was a big job. Me and my son scooped up dirt. So we got a big shipment of dirt. We used half of it, maybe a little less than half already. And yeah, so I gotta turn off the phone to be able to show you a different angle, but I'm gonna show you some other stuff here. So a lot of you are asking about the place. So this all, by the way, was covered with brush. You can see all these wood chips on the ground. Brush right there. Try not to show you the neighbor's house there. I don't want to do that, but my property line is about where it's all brown. Maybe a little past that, just slightly past that. And then, of course, to the road out there. Okay, here's my house. So we got this big tree. I'm gonna have to figure out how to cut, because right over top of my car are these branches. I gotta cut some of those branches. I'm afraid they're gonna fall. But all this was brush, like I said. I mean, you can see tree stumps, you know, here. There's a couple, you know, all around that they just basically, they plowed down. I had posted up a little short video. Maybe only on Instagram, I can't remember, but a little short video of them coming with their bulldozer thing and doing it. So you can see the stumps here, but they left a couple trees dotted throughout, some smaller. I'm gonna have to take down a couple of them, I think. But sometime next week, they're gonna put a shed here as part of the deal. So this development here that we bought in, the HOA, there is an HOA, unfortunately. We're out in the middle of nowhere, still an HOA. But they require you to have a shed, an 8x10 at least, and it has to be wood and painted to the same color as your house. So I've got to get a gray one, or like, I guess, tan, taupe, whatever they call that. So I got to do that. I got to get a big shed. And so I was like, guys, I can't afford a shed after buying a house. So when I was buying this house, the developer, I told him part of the deal was, you know, you put in a shed for me. Negotiated. I mean, housing market has started to drop, so, you know, they want to dump it. So I've got, so anyway, they'll put that in soon. That'll be nice. So you can see this big pile of wood chips, basically. When they came through, they just mulched it. Well, not really mulched it. They use this grinder thing on the ground. So there's some big chunks and some small. I've been using some of it for my compost bin, but you got to sift through the good and the bad. So there's, you know, there's big chunks of wood that you don't want in the compost bin, but I've been doing a compost bin here. So I did kind of buried this a little bit in the ground so it doesn't knock over, but holes in the side, there's big holes in the bottom to allow bugs up through, you know, and there's some bigger sized wood chips in there. I mean, I don't get them all, but keep it moist. You throw in kitchen scraps and you got good dirt next year. So started that. I mean, this is kind of what we always wanted, guys. You know, a place with property that we can do stuff on. I've always wanted to kind of have some, I will at one point get some chickens. I gotta put this hose away. It's been busy. But I use that hose because this other one is not long enough. 100-foot hose just doesn't quite reach that compost bin. It actually reaches to about this tree here. So I got this sticking out to attach to, then I can put water in the compost bin because it needs water to be able to do its thing. But yeah, soon we're going to be using this to kind of put around the side of the house here and be able to do like a what is it called, my wife wants some flowers, so like a little flower bed. I just used the weed eater to get some of these tall, there was some really tall weeds along here, so I did that all the way around. My daughter wanted to do some what are they, sunflowers, so planted a couple sunflower plants. I think I'm gonna have to space them out a little bit more, well, thin them, I guess. She wanted to plant those. She just planted along there just in the regular dirt, and they're taking off. They're actually taking off. But yeah, let's do a quick rundown of what we got. I got San Marzano tomatoes because I like tomato sauce, so I'm gonna make some tomato sauce. I got 4 of those. These are cherry tomatoes of different kinds. I think there's a sun gold. I think that one's the sun gold. I have it written down inside. And these are some sweetie, I think they're called. And this right here is Brandywine tomato. That is also Brandywine tomato. And I read a good companion plant with tomatoes are beans because they fix nitrogen. So I put a couple beans in between those because there's some big tomatoes and they'll get big. This might be not enough spacing between the two. I'm not sure. Maybe I thin this down to only 1 of the beans, but at least the tomatoes will be far enough away. This is zucchini. I love zucchini, so I've got 2 plants there. I don't know why I planted them so close together. That was silly, but I'll thin out whichever one, you know, is doing better. And then these are cucumbers right here. So I got one called a muncher cucumber, and then the other are pickling cucumbers. I like pickling cucumbers. So this is a, I've got it written down in the house, either watermelon or cantaloupe, because one is a watermelon, one's a cantaloupe on this row. I'm forgetting which one is what. Pretty butterfly there. Oh, there it goes. All right, so yeah, they're all over, these butterflies. So what are these? Okay, pumpkin, I think. These 2 are pumpkin. There's another bean, so bush bean. That's what those are. So technically, I think the bush bean, you don't need stakes, but I probably have to get a stake for it. And then these are, I have it written down inside. It is zucchini squash. I'm sorry, not that's zucchini over there. It's a winter squash. It's spaghetti, I think. That is, maybe I got those mixed up. This might be butternut, and that's spaghetti, or vice versa. I'm not sure. I've got, like I said, written down inside. Bush bean, and then I had extra. I didn't realize how far spacing these need. So I had a little extra space in this one, so I just put another watermelon and cantaloupe, I think. It might be reversed. But anyway, that's what I got going on. Sun's coming out, so it's about 10 a.m. Got a little shade in the early mornings, which I kind of don't like. I wish I would have put these over here, because that tree starts shade around 4 o'clock on these, but it would be best if these were shaded at 3. So technically, for that afternoon sun is where the hot is. I kind of wouldn't even need these if I had these moved over just slightly. That was stupid, but you know, you live and you learn. So, I mean, I've got, I can always put up more of these and then use these for stuff that like more shade and then kind of keep it, you know, covered. And then these, I probably wouldn't, if I put them over here, I probably wouldn't need anything. So all this, guys, was covered with brush. And so we get chiggers, unfortunately. So I got these little silly things, my pants in my socks kind of thing. And that helps keep those chiggers away. They can't, I guess, climb up onto your pant legs that way. So that's what I'm doing. Looking kind of like a silly person out here, but I don't like getting bit by chiggers, and they hurt, man. They are just terrible. It's super itchy. Some of the worst I've ever felt. Itchiest thing I've ever encountered. Just terrible. My leg's still on fire. We got bit up pretty bad. So my son got a couple. My daughter got none, but she wasn't out here as long, and she wears like really tight tights, you know, little, I don't know, whatever they're called, but didn't bother her. So they got me and my son real bad. Me incredibly bad. My legs, like I said, they're just look like I got chicken pox, and it's super itchy. They're starting to blister, and it's not fun. But anyway, well, thanks for watching, guys. So here's the update of the house. Again, I'm not showing you guys inside just because my kids are in there. My wife's in there. My wife doesn't really like me videoing the kids too much. I don't know why, she just doesn't want that, but you know, here and there, you guys will see them out here, but this is the update. And you know, I'll start getting on some fly tying videos pretty soon here. In fact, I think the next one, I've got an order for some stimulators. So I think the next one will be a stimulator. I'm just finishing up on an order right now, actually, for some game changers, but I've done a ton of game changer videos, so I didn't want to do another, and they take a long time to edit, and they're long videos, so simulators should be a little easier to make a video on. But anyway, here's the update, guys. Thanks for coming along. Pretty excited. We're all happy about the house. We got to put a fence in soon, but that's going to cost too much money that I don't have. But along this road, this is the way in and out, and so people drive by all the time, and we've already had, apparently there's some people that live up the road that aren't good people, and they break into people's houses. Or not, I guess they haven't broken into anyone's house, but they steal stuff off people's yards. And I've been told that, and then we caught them on our balcony, our our patio here. So well, I didn't catch them, my neighbor did. They saw them and kind of was driving by and yelled at them. They let me know about it. So we got to get a fence up. It's just going to cost a lot because this is an acre property. So and I talked with the HOA, and they're like, no, if you're going to do a fence, you really got to do the entire property. You can't just do a short little bit. And kind of like it to be privacy, but that's going to be really pricey. I probably can't do that. So at least a fence will be a deterrent. People generally don't want to hop over a fence to come and break in. So it's just going to be expensive. I think I priced it out. At least privacy on this side, this whole area, it's about 200 feet. Along that's going to be like in the 3,000, 4,000 range just for materials, and that's me doing it myself. Otherwise it could be more. So that's for privacy. That's like a dog ear picket fence kind of thing. So that's going to be, I don't have that kind of money, so might have to look into like deer fence, or depends on what the HOA will let me do though. So they said along this road has to at least be a nice looking fence. So the rest of it I can just do like T-post along neighbors property here and whatever, but along the road they want nicer. So we'll see. Anyway, battle with the HOA a little bit and see what they'll allow me, and hopefully I can get something in. But it would be nice to be able to border this off, keep my kids safer, and my property from prying eyes, right? So anyway, well, thanks for coming along, guys. Soon, I promise, I'm going to get a video out. I promise, guys. And until then, I hope you guys can go catch some fish. I'll see you on the next video.